I wanted to do something that wasn't entirely out of my wheelhouse, but was fun and for kids. And I got kids now. I got a 26-year-old, so he's been able to come see most of the movies I've been making for, I don't know, 13 years. And then, but the young ones, they're always home at premiere night. So I thought that would be fun. And honestly, there was something about just the gentle, sweet adventure and the idea of communication and empathy and all that stuff that wasn't, I hadn't really been out of the mire of, intergalactic threats for a while. So I like the idea of a return to the kind of movie that I grew up watching when I was a kid. In the beginning of the movie, when we find Dolittle, he's in recluse mode. So I wanted to think about the character that I'm creating is someone who has become a hermit and isolated himself, probably due to some trauma or emotional or disappointment or whatever. And his reasoning is that he's taken it upon himself to help the animals only, but really it's that thing of where he's given up on humanity, and he has secreted himself to this estate that was gifted him by the Queen. This local boy who probably also is developing the gift of being able to understand and eventually communicate with across species, genus, and phylum. He brings this injured squirrel because there's obviously the urban or the suburban legend of this crazy doctor who lives in this estate, and he just happens to bring him by right on the same day that Lady Rose comes from Buckingham Palace to say that he's being summoned to try to ascertain what is ailing the Queen. It really does take this boy who is very game and very intuitive and doesn't have the best home life, but it's a bit of a stretch that you'd think he would have some amazing learning experience and adventure with this hermit. But the animals kind of clean him up, and then against his will, the kid really makes a strong showing of how game he is to want to be part of this. And so while he still gives him a lot of guff along the way, he really warms to this young fellow. Harry Collette is a real rising talent and a star. I remember seeing his screen testing and going, oh my God, I wonder if that's what Tom Cruise was like when he was 11. And but he's very much his own guy, and he's just a really capable kid. As far as the design goes, we would go into these sets, and with Dominic, the person in charge of the production designer, we would just kind of walk around the spaces and outfit him and talk about him for hours and really think about it in terms of the blocking, but also it's not often that you're doing a living room set where you're saying, all right, now, wouldn't we have to make room for a polar bear to get in here? And what about, where can the giraffe put her head in the window? And, and what's a comfortable place for a silverback gorilla to sleep? So that was a lot of what we did, was literally just trying to set up all these environments to house this motley crew of creatures.